Alright, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, and today we're going to be talking about the First Descendant patch 1.3.10. I'm sorry for phasing out of reality, but as you know, their website does not have a dark mode, so I am literally getting flashbanged. But anyway, because of that, I will look all spooky and phasing, and you'll see a little bit of my green screen right here, which I cannot remove. Anyway, all nonsense aside, alright, the First Descendant just dropped patch 1.3.10, and it's got some big changes. Today we're going to be testing all of them on our latest stream. First and foremost, they have a Supermassive Receptor boss HP nerf, which happened. There are new sources for Sword and Hive Master crafting materials. Oh, sorry, Sword, Hive Master, and Harris crafting materials. There's also a sprint speed tweak, which is causing a lot of people to feel very upset. I never really felt it myself, but then again, I wasn't really using Haley. I was going to test her next. And I'll be showing you, all the stuff that changed, how it affects your builds and farming and all that kind of stuff. We're going to go through the patch notes in detail, and we'll talk about all of it. So if you guys are ready to experience all of that, then watch on, all right? And before we go on, sorry, always have to do this. If you haven't already, please consider supporting my music right now on SoundCloud as well as on Spotify and all major music platforms. As you guys know, I'm now a verified artist. I get paid no matter where you play my tracks. So if you guys decide to support me a little extra, all right, maybe you want to listen to some good tunes, play my tracks no matter where it is. Of course, SoundCloud gets them first before any other platform, but it'd be great if you guys do play my music. All right? Okay, let's carry on. So, in terms of this patch, here's what happened. First and foremost, the infiltration operation Supermassive Receptor, there was an overall monster hit point adjustment that was made according to squad size during the 2 to 4 player public operations to ease combat difficulty. All right, they've added acquisition sources for Ancestor module loot. They have a small chance to be acquired when defeating commanders in the Axion Plains, Void Vessel Medium-Sized Facility Zone, or Supermassive Receptor. No longer will you guys be limited to only getting a certain number per week or per day. All right, so they're trying to make the grind fairer because there was quite a gap between those that have and those that have not. All right. Now, the director's comments have stated that with patch 1.3.11, and in line with our early plans to diversify acquisition sources, they'll be adding a new way to obtain Ancestor modules through the weekly challenge. All right, I think we'll see that next week. Now, they've also added acquisition sources for the Ultimate Weapon Shadow and Deus Ex Manus. All right, you'll now be able to get the Ultrafine Particle Alloys from Axion Plains, Sigma Sector Broken Boundary, high-risk difficulty missions. Photon Quantum Crystals can now be acquired from the Axion Plains, as well as Sigma Sector Isolated Desert, high-risk difficulty missions. Okay, they've added acquisition sources for the Descendant Harris and Ultimate Weapon Hive Master crafting materials, the writhing organic matter. You can get them from the Axion Plains whenever you defeat a commander. And in the Void Vessel Medium-Sized Facility Zone, in hard mode, you get 4. In normal mode, you get 2. Okay. Harris. Some functions of Crushing Focus skill available when the modification module Focus Supervision Time is equipped have been changed. Previously, when using the skill, you would auto-reload. It's now been changed to when using the skill, you gain Crushing Focus. When Crushing Focus is active, it instantly reloads weapons with available rounds the moment the magazine reaches 0 and increases movement speed while firing. However, the weapons will not reload if no rounds are available. This change is actually pretty interesting because rather than having the auto reload, it will just instantly reload. So it's basically like having Enzo's trigger module. So this should hopefully be interesting. But so far, I have not seen the focused supervision time actually be good for bossing. Maybe I'm wrong on that. If you guys have a good Harris bossing build that can clear Lava Citadel in around a minute, please let me know. All right, I will give you full credit if I do use your build or if I learn from your build, okay? Now, in terms of the weapons, okay, they've adjusted the sprint speed of swords. Previously, it was 1040. Now it's been brought down to 800. And a base sprint speed increase modifier has been added. That'll give you a plus 30% sprint speed. The reason for this is that, the directors actually commented. They said that following the recent update, they have identified an issue where the sprint speed of certain descendants, specifically Haley, was unintentionally matching that of Bunny. This occurred during the process of increasing melee weapon sprint speeds and resulted in behavior that deviated from the dev team's intentions ultimately conflicting with their goal of preserving each Descendant's unique identity. In this patch, we've adjusted the method used to increase melee weapon sprint speed so that only Bunny can reach a sprint speed of 1,600 through her skills as originally designed. Melee weapon sprint speed will continue to follow the previous baseline of 10,000 and 1,040, but Haley will now only be able to reach up to 1440 when using her skills. We kindly ask for your understanding as this change may affect your gameplay experience. They've also addressed an issue where Harris's skill Waste Disposal was providing an abnormally high amount of defense. We sincerely apologize for the confusion this unexpected bug may have caused. I think we'll have to check that. Good thing I didn't drop her farming build yet, because we definitely have to see that. That was most certainly a bug. So thank you to those of you who did not abuse the bug. All right, to apologize for the inconvenience, we have prepared compensation consisting of a crystallization catalyst and a set of 5 boosts. Please understand that these adjustments were made to clarify the individuality and balance of each Descendant. We will continue to monitor all Descendants to ensure that they maintain their unique strengths, and we remain committed to delivering more stable and reliable updates moving forward. Would have been nice if they had a stable update at the start of the season, but hey, who's to judge, right? Okay, let's carry on. Miscellaneous. They've reduced frame rate degradation during extended play sessions through program optimization. I hope so. They fixed an issue where frame rate drops could intermittently occur during the Void Erosion Purge gameplay. Okay. They fixed an issue where Wall Crasher and Axion Plains intercept battle could be summoned multiple times due to abnormal access after being defeated. Again, please don't abuse bugs, guys. All right, bug fixes. For Ines, they have fixed an issue where the damage of the Plasma Oscillation's Dark Current was not applied correctly when hitting enemies, while Short Circuit from Ines's Snare Hunter was active. Okay. Harris fixed an issue where Harris's Focus Supervision Time module would grant Toxin when the Crushing Focus skill hit terrain objects instead of monsters. Okay. Fixed an issue where some tooltips for the Tactical Oversight skill were missing when Harris's Safety Training Time modification module was equipped. They fixed an issue where incorrect information was displayed in the Precious Waste Disposal skill tooltip when the Focus Supervision Time module was equipped on the Descendant Harris. The Acquisition Cycle tooltip content in Cutting Laser has been removed. Fixed an issue where the Descendant Harris would freeze in certain situations when using the Tactical Oversight or Sight Intrusion skills. So for those of you that were getting stuck with Harris, this might help. Fix the missing Clash category for the Sight Intrusion skill when Harris's Safety Training Time modification module was equipped. They fixed an issue where Harris could not receive the intended buff upon being revived from a DBNO state by a party member until the shared gauge value changed. Okay. Fixed an issue where Harris could obtain an abnormally high amount of defense through a waste disposal skill. Okay. Blair fixed the missing HP recovery information in the skill summary of the extinguished skill. So remember that Blair can heal with that. Weapons and modules fixed an issue where the Pioneer's Resolution Ancestors module granted the Descendant Harris an invalid MP option. The MP option on existing Pioneer's Resolution Ancestor modules will remain, but the MP option will not be available when readjusting or acquiring new Pioneer's Resolution Ancestor modules. Fixed an issue where the description of the aesthetics of sharing Descendant module was written incorrectly. When using healing or charging type skills, non-attribute skill power modifier, okay, plus 9% for 10 seconds up to 5 stacks. So this one is skill power modifier, not skill power itself. Okay. Trigger modules. They fixed an issue where the UI incorrectly displayed the effects of the domino drive based on stacks. They fixed an issue where the reload of tactical acceleration failed to trigger some effects that activate when reloading. They fixed an issue where Storm Bullet would not activate when killing enemies. They fixed an issue where the maximum damage multiplier of Steel Vanguard was not working correctly. Content. They fixed an issue where the Void Axiom event in Axion Plains would not occur. So those of you concerned about this, please take note that the Void Axiom event will now occur. They fixed an issue where players could escape outside the combat area in certain regions of the Supermassive Receptor. They fixed an issue where the infiltration operation Supermassive Receptor was unlocked before progressing through the story quest. They fixed an issue where another Descendant's NPC voice, Luna's, would overlap with Amelia's English voice during the task Left Behind main quest. fixed an issue that prevented the Colossus Guided Capture Facility investigation subquest from being completed, fixed an issue where some NPCs would not display correctly during quest progression. Remember the people clipping through? Yeah, that footage is still there. Fixed an issue where quest markers for designated objectives would not appear in certain situations. Fixed an issue where NPC quest marker for Descendant exclusive quest would continue to be displayed even after switching to another Descendant during that quest. Monsters. They fixed an issue where Descendant XP and Weapon XP were not gained when defeating monsters in the Supermassive Receptor dungeon. They fixed an issue where dashing would occur with every attack when striking the RK receptor of the Supermassive Receptor Commander Pattern Flores with a melee weapon. Okay. Fixed an issue where the adaptive defense of breach creatures in the Axion Plains was not being applied. They fixed an issue where collision would continue to occur even after a monster's death, affecting combat. So anyone who's bothered by that, that's been fixed now. Okay, fixed an issue where the exchange ticket icon would not display correctly when using the Haley Descendant exchange ticket. They've modified the collectible count displayed in the collectibles UI to include place collectibles. They fixed an issue where module socket type information would disappear from the library. They fixed an issue where the mutant cell box C could not be set as a target reward. They fixed an issue where target rewards could be set for Void Vessel mission monsters through acquisition information. They have fixed an issue where firearm DPS information would change based on your own view module stats settings when inspecting other Descendants. Miscellaneous fixes. They fixed an issue where Supermassive Receptor operations were not included in the Complete Infiltration Operation Battle Pass and event challenges. And they fixed an issue where navigation between certain options would not work when using a controller in photo mode. All right, that brings us to the end. So ladies and gents, here's what you have to do. Comment your thoughts on this. I'm very eager to hear what you think about all the changes in here, because the thoughts of the people are the most important. Do you agree with them making the changes that they have to the Supermassive Receptor? Do you agree with the sprint speed changes? I want to know your thoughts right now, so please leave a comment. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button. Set my notifications to all from personalized, all right? Because the more live streams you support, even the ones not from TFD, the more I can do for you. Guess what? We are aiming for 200 viewers per live stream, no matter what I'm streaming. It's a tall order. I'm a long way off, but if we get there, there will be cash giveaways for everyone. That's what's going to happen. So let's see if I can get there. Thank you very much for supporting this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, hopefully me phasing out of reality didn't bother you too much today. Catch you later, fam.